The movie starts with a picture on a wall showing a strange and scary ceremony happening. After that, we see images of black, snowy woods while we hear old folks singing in the background. Danny Arter, a student in college, tries to contact her parents but no one answers the phone. Danny feels worried about her sister Terry, who has bipolar disorder and left her a strange message not long ago. After that, Danny phones her boyfriend Christian Hughes, who is spending time with his friends Josh, Mark, and Pell. Christian tries to comfort Danny by saying that it's normal for Terry to act like this, but he also thinks that Danny sometimes encourages her behavior. As soon as Christian hangs up, Danny receives a call from a number she doesn't recognize. Josh and Mark believe that Christian should break up with Danny because he has been wanting to end the relationship for some time. Meanwhile, Pell suggests that they will have the chance to meet many other women when they go on their upcoming trip to Sweden. Danny makes another call to Christian, but this time she is crying and screaming hysterically. Later, we witness officials entering Danny's parents' house, where Terry has flooded the place with carbon monoxide, causing the death of their parents. Terry then put the tube into her own mouth and secured it with tape. Christian goes to Danny's apartment to offer her emotional support. A few months later, Danny is still feeling very sad and is trying to manage her feelings. Danny spends time with Christian and his friends, and they tell her about their plans to travel to Sweden to attend a midsummer festival in a small village called Haga, where Pell grew up. The festival happens every 90 years and lasts for approximately 9 days. Josh wants to attend the festival so he can write about it for his anthropology dissertation. Christian asks Danny to come along with them, but he thinks that she might not really want to go because she's still grieving after the tragic event that happened earlier. Despite that, Danny agrees to join them. However, Danny is upset because Christian didn't tell her about the trip earlier, and they are set to leave in just 2 weeks. Danny and Christian go to spend time with his buddies. When Pell briefly steps away, he tells Danny about the Midsummer Festival and how they choose a May Queen at the end of the celebration. Pell also comforts Danny about her loss by telling her that he also lost his parents. However, this triggers Danny, and she goes to the bathroom to cry. Danny goes with Christian and his friends on the trip. They travel to the Haga and there, they encounter Pell's brother Ingemar, as well as an English couple named Simon and Connie. The group eats mushrooms that can make them hallucinate. However, Ingemar offers Danny a different type of drink that tastes better. She agrees to drink the tea and has a good time. When Pell tells Danny that the group is like his family, she becomes upset and decides to take a walk. She starts feeling very scared and upset during the drug trip. When she sees some people nearby laughing, she feels like they are laughing at her. Danny feels so scared that she goes to hide in a shed, but then she thinks she sees Terry and it terrifies her. She runs into the woods, and the trees around her look strange before she faints. She has a quick dream where she sees Terry and their parents. Danny wakes up beside Christian after sleeping for 6 hours. They all head back towards the village to meet the rest of the Haga community. Josh asks questions about the festival and the community, but when he asks about a golden teepee, no one gives him a straight answer. A girl named Maya shows interest in Christian by playfully kicking him while he sits in a circle. Pell gives Danny a drawing of herself as a birthday gift, and she tells him that Christian forgot their special day. Later, Christian gives Danny a piece of cake to make up for it. When asked about their relationship duration, Christian thinks it's been over 3 years, but Danny corrects him that it's been 4. Pell takes them to the sleeping area where they will stay. The next day, the group has a big feast with the villagers. The oldest people in the village, Ilva and the laborer, are the special guests. They do a breathing exercise, and then the whole community goes with them to the edge of a cliff. The old people cut their hands as they walk by the edge of the cliff. The newcomers are scared as they see Ilva jump off the cliff and hit a rock face first, which causes her head to look scary. The laborer also jumps off, but he only hurts his leg badly. He cries out in pain, and the villagers copy his cries. Then, 3 of the villagers hit him on the head with a big hammer. Simon and Connie are completely terrified, but Danny goes back to her room. An old lady named Siv tells the group that what they saw was a part of their culture. The 2 elders felt it was time to die, and it was better than living any longer. Pell tries to comfort Danny, thinking that she is upset about her recent tragedy, not about what she just witnessed. Danny feels uncomfortable with Pell being close because Christian might come back. Pell then asks Danny how much Christian really means to her, based on how he acts around her. Danny has a bad dream where she sees Christian and his friends leaving her behind in the middle of the night. She watches them drive away and feels scared when she sees pictures in her mind of her family who passed away and the two old people who died. Simon and Connie decide to leave after what they saw, but when Connie is ready to go, she finds out that Simon went to the train with someone else. Connie is upset and walks away alone. Meanwhile, Christian tells Josh that he also wants to study the Harga for his thesis, but Josh is not happy about it. Josh thinks Christian should not copy his ideas and do his own research. Christian suggests they ask the elders if they can work together. Later, Josh discovers that the village's traditions are based on drawings made by a boy named Reuben. Reuben was born from an incestuous relationship and is considered a visionary. Josh wants to take pictures of Reuben's drawings, but he is not allowed to do so. The elders' bodies are buried in the center of the village. Their ashes are scattered on a big tree that their families have always cared for. Mark does something disrespectful to the tree by peeing on it, and a man named Ulf gets very upset. He explains why the tree is so important, but Mark doesn't seem to care. In another part of the village, Christian and Josh are told they can work together on their school project, as long as they don't reveal the names and location of the Harga people. They agree to this. Christian also asks about the village's way of finding partners, and he learns that while they don't necessarily disapprove of incest, they usually bring in outsiders to help them have children. The villagers have a big meal together, but Mark notices that Ulf is angry at him. Danny hears that one of their friends was taken away by the villagers, and later Mark is also taken away by a woman from the village. The others never see him again. At night, Josh secretly goes into the room where Reuben's book of paintings is kept. He thinks he hears Mark, but it's actually a villager wearing Mark's face. The villager hits Josh on the head and takes him away. The following day, Danny, Christian, and Pell are told that Reuben's book is gone, and it seems strange that Josh and Mark are missing. Later, Danny participates in a dance competition with the village women around a tall pole. One by one, each woman is eliminated until only one remains. Danny takes a drug and can suddenly speak Swedish with the other women. In the dance competition, Danny is the only one left and becomes the May Queen. Meanwhile, Christian drinks something that makes him hallucinate. He is tricked into having sex with Maya, who is a virgin. While they have sex, the elder women around them are naked and mimic Maya's sounds. After Danny becomes the May Queen, she sees Christian having sex with Maya through a hole in the door. This makes Danny very upset, and she goes to cry. The other women come to her and sympathetically cry loudly with her. Christian finishes having sex and goes to find Danny, but instead, he finds Josh's leg buried in the ground and Simon's body cut up in a strange way. Suddenly, a villager blows powder in his face and knocks him out. The ritual is almost over, and the elders bring a drugged Christian and a villager named Torbjorn to Danny. She is supposed to choose someone to sacrifice. 9 people are going to be sacrificed, following the tradition. This includes the 2 elders, 4 outsiders, 2 volunteers, and 1 person picked by Danny. After everything she has experienced, Danny chooses Christian. The men in the village take a big bear and cut it open so they can put Christian inside the bear's body. They also bring Ingemar and the dead bodies of Simon, Connie, Josh, and Mark to a golden teepee and set it on fire. Christian can't move or talk, and he suffers in pain until he dies while Ulf screams and Ingemar watches. The villagers copy the screams, and Danny becomes upset again. However, as she watches the teepee burn and hears the villagers crying together, she starts to smile crazily.